how do you suggest balancing long-term event planning when you needed agility?
It's not, if something, unforeseen or unexpected is going to happen at your event, but when and how do you handle it? Because no matter what event you go to, nothing tends to run perfectly. You still need to plan, but you also need to expect that there's going to be some unplanned situations that happen. And so what I would suggest is definitely have contingency planning. Some things you can plan for, some things you can't. If you are doing a golf tournament, there's really nothing else you can do if it rains. Okay, so those things are going to happen. There's no, I guess you could move them indoors for golf, maybe do mini golf, but I don't think that's what most people expect. But in other cases, maybe you do have a weather plan, or maybe you do have a pandemic plan, or, and I would say definitely work with vendors who are willing to work with you. People that are willing to be flexible. If you've got to make a last minute change that's unforeseen or something that's outside of your control, you don't want to be locked into these agreements and contracts with venues or technology companies, whatever, that are unwilling to be flexible with you. So definitely make sure that when you're, negotiating these agreements and contracts, that you have, some ability to kind of wiggle things around if you need to. And then what I would say, kind of to wrap this up, two things. One, have somebody who's your problem solver, and make that somebody who's good at problem solving. Don't put this on your shoulders if you're the event planner or if you're running this organization and you're the one that needs to be communicating with donors. Have somebody else responsible for dealing with the issues that are going to come up, because they are going to come up. Have them just report back to you on how it's working, right? And the last thing I would say is have a little bit of tolerance for things that are going to go wrong. You might get a sneer from a board member. You might get a sneer from a guest. They are there to support you. I would say in most cases, not all. Trust me, we all have our experiences with certain types of guests and stuff, but in most cases, they're expecting you to be good at curing cancer, not running events, right? So just keep that in mind as you're kind of going through your thing, that, this is not your full-time job. If you hired an event planner and they screwed it all up, maybe, you can deal with that in the following year. But as it pertains to you running your events, just give yourself a break.